Peace, everyone. Okay, cool. Comment is pinned. Hopefully this doesn't keep playing the advertisements. Alright, cool. Hey. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Where's my astrologer? Can't see her name. I'm gonna have to type her name in. Thank you. Thank you. I need to actually wash my hair, but we pulling through. Hi Shay, hopefully you can come in again at some point during the live, because this is the people's topic, right? This is just something that has obviously been in the air as of recent, so I thought it would be great to have an open discussion about it, right? Educate, each one teach one. Hi Trey, where's the infamous? So yeah, I'm hoping my astrologers come in and shed some light onto what's going on. I don't know if anyone actually in here knows what's happening in terms of the planets being in alignment. It's 2 planets in particular, right? Jupiter and Saturn, as far as I know off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm hoping they'll come in because they know everything. Like, they know everything about the planets. I did send it to them. I just spoke to one of them, so hopefully they do. I know you know a lot about what's happening, Shay, because you brought it up. Look, see, he just joined. You brought it up when you was on the live last. But yeah, I just keep seeing stuff about it everywhere. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's talk about it. Hi Nate. Jupiter and Saturn conjunct and the rest of the planets are in a line. I put on this royalty-free music and it's still playing advertisements. I don't understand. Okay. Hi Nate. Where is Salome? I think she's busy. But Nate, if you're not busy, I know it's bare early, right? But I kind of just wanted to have an open discussion about this because I don't know that much, but I'm interested to learn. So if you're free, Nate, and you're able to join and just speak about what you know as far as like the new age, well, we're entering the age of Aquarius, and also about the conjunction, because a lot of people, especially people that are spiritual and people that study the stars, are using the energy. They're like dissecting the energy and putting it into practicality. Something that I was listening to earlier, she was speaking about entering the age of information, how things are going to change naturally. Hi Ace. How things are going to be changing. You know, it may not be as drastic as people may think. I know some people, I don't know, apparently some people have been saying the sun's going to be blocked for 3 days. I don't know. All I know is that she mentioned about the new age of information. And we kind of have seen that, you know, take place, especially this year, like more specifically this year, with everything going digital, all the money being digitalized, all the labor essentially being removed and digitalized. just how this whole year has panned out, we can kind of see like we're entering a new world, right? And it doesn't have to be so literal. It doesn't literally have to mean like the world is gonna poof and then there's gonna be a new one reborn. Just like, you know, as humans, we have many different stages of life, and our old selves technically die and experience death when we transition into our new selves, right? So that's the kind of analogy that I'm applying to the new world and the new age of Aquarius. And we should call this the age of data. Data is currency. Well, yeah, the age of information, age of data. Is Nate still in the chat? Let me see. I'm gonna accept it. That'll be great. Yeah, man, this year has been like, and this is the thing, if you've been into like conspiracy theories for a long time, you would have been known already that this, like where we are today, is gonna hi.
Hey, you're right.
Good. So you out.
Hi.
Hi.
Ooh, hey everyone. Do you know what? I only got my headphones plugged in. Sorry, I was actually in the middle of doing something, but I was like, no, let me jump on, catch a vibe. Hey Bliss, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. Yeah, good to see you flexing as always. Do you know what? I need to start dressing up for your lives, you know, because you actually, do you know what I mean? Me, I come through, I'm just wearing anything, do you know what I mean? And you're there with the, you know, the puce and the, yeah, you know, and the locks popping. Yeah, I see you. So, okay, I see you.
Pop actually, friend. She's not here today, as you guys can see.
Who's that? Who's not here today?
Ray.
Oh, where's Ray?
Yeah, she's busy. So.
Oh, hey Ray. Hey Ray, if you watch this back.
But yeah, cool. So you know, obviously you know what's happening with the conjunction and stuff, and age of Aquarius. Being the astrologer that you are.
First of all, I'm a.
But you know what
I
mean?
Go. I do. Yeah, I do.
Anyone about astrology, it would be either you or Salome. So, you know, my eyes, you two are big astrologers.
Thank you.
So yeah, what's your like take on what's happening and what's going to happen?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's any like certifiable correlate. Okay, first thing I should say is that Salome is the authority, yeah? So if I say EFG and she comes as actually ABC, then listen to her in it, because she's somewhere where I'm not, do you know what I'm saying? But first of all, I don't think there's any like certifiable correlation between the conjunction that's happening and the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is to do with the precession of the precession of the zodiac, the precession of the equinoxes, right? Which happens every few thousand years. Every few thousand years, basically, we move from one sign into another. So everything is physics, do you know what I mean? Everything is math, everything is like, you know, in terms of the solar system and the way it moves, everything is kind of like a big clock, right? So obviously we move, the sun moves into a different sign every month, the moon moves into a different sign every couple of days. We move into a new age every few thousand years. I can't actually remember why that is. I should have double checked before I jumped on the live, because I have researched it, but it's been a minute. I kind of switched off from that because I've been working. But yes, but yeah, we move into a new age every few thousand years, right? So for example, the age of Pisces, which is the age that we are in currently, started with religion, with Jesus, with Christianity 2,000 years right ago. I think it's 2,150 years is the consensus. 2,150 years or something like that is the length of each age. But it's important to know that there is no consensus on how long an age is, or like when we're going to jump into the age of Aquarius. Sorry, there's no consensus. Some people say we've already entered the age of Aquarius now. Some people say we're going to enter the age of Aquarius in 50 years time. A lot of people are saying that we're going to enter the age of Aquarius on December 21st, right? Because on December 21st, obviously we got two planets that are going to be aligning with each other, namely Jupiter and Saturn, are going to be lining up with each other, which is something that doesn't happen often. It happens like every I think it was 800 years or so today. Do you know what I mean? So it's not something that happens regularly. But yeah, it's like a once in a lifetime event, which is definitely, you know, worth checking out. It's something that everyone will be interested in seeing. Like I say, I don't know really much about the correlation between that and the age of Aquarius, but a lot of people are saying that that's going to herald in the age of Aquarius. Like as soon as those two planets like collide or kind of line up, then that's it. That's the day that we're basically going to be transitioning. So the difference in the ages, each sign, obviously, as you know, carries its own energy. Oh, you see, Asaya Mystics just joined the chat. Asaya Mystic is another OG. She can definitely come and put us onto some game with what's happening there, no doubt. Yeah, so the different ages are like carrying the energy of the sign. So for example, one thing, this is something Salome was talking to me about actually, the age of Taurus was the age when the pyramids were being built, and you know, that kind of, yeah, so it's like the different ages carry the different energies, right? So we've just left the age of Pisces, which is the energy that Pisces carries is one of like dreamy kind of faith, you know, like that kind of you know, when you kind of like Pisces, man, Pisces energy, you know, like you kind of, it's dreamy kind of energy, unrealistic energy, I suppose would be fair to say.
Yeah. You know what? To
And
add to that, I was watching a video before and she was speaking about, yeah, being in the age of Pisces and us being a bit more flowy, a bit more like, you know, skin out, a bit more like empathetic, and now it's kind of like that energy is shifting, which I think like safe to say Pisces are quite like
Pisces, yeah, Pisces are out there. Pisces are out there, definitely. Obviously now we are definitely heading towards the age of Aquarius. That is next on the list, where it will happen in our lifetime. If it hasn't already happened, or if it isn't happening next week, you know, regardless, it's something that we will see. We are the ones who are shifting into that age of Aquarius. Yeah, so Aquarius is the fixed air sign. So Aquarius is to do with thought, intelligence. Aquarius is to do with intellect. Aquarius is to do with like big intellect, you know, facts and knowing things. Like one of my brothers is an Aquarius and he's a mechanic, and you give this guy like an engine and he would just sit there with his spanner on the living room floor, do you know what I mean, just pulling it apart. Like that is essentially the definition of Aquarius energy. You know, you put Aquarians in like give them something that they're passionate about, and they will sit there and, you know what I mean, like dissect it bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. The three air signs are to do with intellect, right? So Gemini, I was saying this to my sister today, you know, we like to learn, but we can kind of get the gist of things and then move on and try something else, do you know what I mean? And then get the gist of it, oh, okay, I see what that's about, and then move on. Like me with astrology, I kind of, I've got to a level where I'm like, okay, I feel like I understand enough to like know and have a conversation on the topic, but there's still people like Salome is a fixed sign. She's got a lot more of that energy where she'll kind of like, you know, dive into one thing. Whereas me, I want to be an astrologer. I want to be a forex trader. I want to make music. I want to, do you know what I mean? I want to kind of like bounce around a little bit more. That's Gemini energy. So I like to think, but I do kind of like to, you know, move around. Aquarius is fixed air. So that's kind of like, boom, we're doing this one. Do you know what I mean? That's like, okay, that is fixed thought. Yeah. That's the age that we are moving into. From the age of Pisces, which is the mutable water. So again, the water is to do with the flowy and the kind of like emotion, and the mutable water is, you know, the like I said, the dreamy, the, like you said, the, you know, skin out kind of just, you know, that energy, yeah. And we're obviously moving from there to here. That's kind of the new age. That is definitely something that's going to happen in our lifetime. Like I said, whether or not it's related to the conjunction that's happening, I'm not so sure. I'd be interested, you know, in seeing that. But, you know, regardless, the conjunction as a separate thing is something that's hella interesting, because it's something that you don't see every day. So there are 5, 6, 7, 8 planets, I think, in our solar system, if I've got this right. I know there's 9 if you count the moon and the sun and whatever, but I'm just trying to go off the actual planet. So 5 of them you can see, yeah, which is Mercury. You can see Mercury. You can see Venus. Venus is the 3rd brightest object in the sky after the sun and the moon, yeah. You can see Jupiter, you can see Saturn, and you can see Mars. Yeah, you can see those 5, right, with your naked eyes. I could go outside if it's a clear night and I can see them. You might think they're stars, but they're not stars. The difference with stars and planets is planets, they don't twinkle. Stars will flash and flash because they're miles away. Do you know what I mean? But planets, they're just solid and you can see them, yeah? Mars is red. So it's quite, you know, you can kind of pick it out once you've seen it and you deep, raw, that's actually red. Then you'll notice it all the time. And Venus is mad bright. Venus is like a diamond. Venus is actually one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I literally, when I deeped Venus, I was like, nah, Venus is beautiful. And I only deeped it this year, Taurus season, actually. I looked out my window and I was like, oh my God, that is Venus. And now I can't stop looking at Venus, right? So
what was I going to say?
You can see those 5. Go on.
And you see, like, the moon will be out, right? And then there'll be this, like, star underneath it. Bright, bright, bright. I don't know if you've seen it before. Like, it obviously looks like it's a meter, but it's not a meter away. But it's just like this prominent, like, star. Do you know? Is that a planet then?
Probably,
right.
Probably. I mean,
moon.
I mean, yeah. Like, it obviously, the planets move. Do you know what I mean? They don't just stay, and the moon moves as well. And Earth is spinning, so it's not like Venus will always be next to the moon. You know, sometimes the moon will be on the other side of the sky from Venus. You know. Okay, here's something. Okay, so you see the moon, yeah? The moon, when it's a full moon, right? That means that the sun is here, Earth is here, and the moon is behind Earth. Yeah. So the sun is sending light and it's hitting the moon, and the moon is a full moon. Yeah. Then the moon goes around the Earth, and now the moon is here. So the sun is there, the moon is there, and Earth is there. So now you can't see any light coming from the sun. Yeah, it's like a shadow. So that's a new moon, right? So obviously, when the moon orbits and comes here, so let's say that the sun is here, the Earth is here, and then the moon is here, right? Then the light from the sun will be on this side of the moon. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's like one side of the moon will be shiny, the other side will be dark. And then when the moon is on this side, then again, same thing, yeah? One side will be shiny, the other side will be dark. It will be on the same side as the sun, right? So Venus is next to the sun, right? So it goes the sun, then it goes Mercury, then it goes Venus, then it goes Earth. So while we're on Earth, if the moon is here, then Venus will be next to the moon. But if the moon is there, then Venus won't be next to the moon. Do you know what I mean? The moon is on the other side from Venus. Does that make sense? So sometimes you might see like Mercury, not Mercury. Well, I suppose the most important thing to say is that Saturn and Jupiter, which are the 2 furthest ones away that you can see, is that for a minute now, they have been close together. So as in they're always together, they're like about that far away from each other. Obviously, you know, they're not that far away, but yeah, they're like that far away from each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously Mars kind of does its own thing. Think about the planets in terms of their orbit. Do you know what I mean? So you got the sun, then you got Mercury, which is orbit is really fast. So every day Mercury will be in another place. Do you know what I mean? And then you got Venus, who again moves pretty quickly compared to the Earth because it's closer to the sun than Earth, so it's got a higher gravitational pull, right? So then you got the Earth, obviously, which is us. hey solar system. And then you got Mars, right? Now on the other side of us, right, the planets start to move slower. Yeah, so Mars moves a little bit slower, so Mars will be in the same place. Do you know what I mean? And the same for Jupiter and Saturn. Those two, Jupiter and Saturn, have, because they're so far away from us, you know, for years now. I'm pretty sure it's been like a couple of years, I'm sure, but I'll have to double check. Since I've started noticing the stars properly anyway, which has been about 2 years now, I've been looking up at the sky and I've seen these guys have been close together. They are buddy, right? And basically that's because they are the farthest two that we can see. After them is Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, which we can't see with the naked eye. You need a telescope to see them, yeah? But those two, you can see them with your eye, right? And obviously, yeah, that's because they're really close to each other. But they're far away, but those two are next to each other. So what's basically happening is that they are kind of aligning up, those two. I don't think it's every planet in the solar system. I saw one sis in the comments said all the planets are lining up. I don't think it's every single planet in the solar system. Like, I don't think Mars and Venus, and I don't think it's every planet. I think it's just those two that are lining up. But that in itself is special enough. Do you know what I mean? That's amazing. That's like, that doesn't happen often, you know? All the planets in the solar system lining up in one straight line, whew, that will be a lot. Well gone, my brother Mazzy. You stepped in the chat. Well gone, bro. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, that alone, man, would be like crazy. Greetings, Pelogon say. Yes, we're talking about the new age. We're talking about, you see it there in the bottom, innit? The Great Conjunction. Yeah, the two planets that are lining up. So Saturn and Jupiter, which are lining up together. And yeah, that alone is amazing enough, because that happens every, like, you know, like almost 1,000 years, you know. So it's kind of like something that we are not going to see again. Our children will not see, their children will not see, you know. However, which is cool, right? It's not just on that day. It is on that day is when it's at its peak, but it's going to be like for at least like the week before and the week after, you should be able to see it. Do you know what I mean? Because they're so far away, you know. It's like the moon, when the moon is full, it's not really just full for one day. I mean, it is, but it's kind of like the day before and the day after, there's still like a big moon in the sky. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, these planets are quite far, right? So it is like going to be for like at least 3 or 4 days before and 3 or 4 days after, you should be able to see these planets aligned. But obviously the actual date that they're going to be aligning is on the 21st. Is the date that they're going to be at their peak. Do you know what I mean? That's when they're going to be the closest together. And that alignment is obviously important, man. In terms of astrology, it's important. I still need to do a bit more research on it, because I don't actually know what constellation they're in right now. So I don't know what sign they're going to be aligning in. Are they going to be aligning in Aquarius? Is that why everyone's saying that's Aquarius? Because I don't actually know. Do you know what I mean? These are the conversations I have with Salome, and I'll just like shoot bare questions at her, and then she'll just school me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know what constellation they're aligning in. But I know that they are, yeah, I know that they're coming.
I sent her the live, but I guess when she's free, she'll jump in. But yeah, I haven't necessarily heard that like the new age and the conjunction are like somehow related. But as far as I understand, because like you said, I didn't know that like there's no like, you know, definite date of like infinite Aquarius. So as far as I know, yeah, it's either I've seen things that were in it and I've seen things that were entering. That's the kind of conversations that I've seen. Yeah. There's just no consensus, man. Like, a lot of people will be like, this is when it is, and they will say it with their chest. Do you know what I mean? And they could be right, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, someone else will say this is when it is, and it will be different. Do you know what I mean? And they'll say it with their chest, and there's no consensus. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I don't know when the actual date that we are entering the age of Aquarius is. But what we do know is that we move from ages. I'm pretty sure it's every 2,150 years. I think that's the pattern, but I can't remember for sure. But I know it's every few thousand years. Do you know what I mean? So like I said, the last age. So if you count backwards, because obviously age of one sec. I heard
had to get my had to get my math. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're going from age of Pisces, which you can see Pisces on the right hand side. Can you see it? Yeah, we are going from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Yeah, so if you count back 2,000 years, that's when the age of Pisces started. Yeah, if you go back before that, that was the age of Aries. And if you go back before that, that was the age of Taurus. You see it? We're moving that way. So we're moving from Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. Next is Capricorn, Sagittarius, yeah. So obviously the ages carry sort of like a different energy from the seasons. Do you know what I mean? Because the ages are bigger. The ages are like yeah, a few thousand years. It's like, you know, everything is kind of based on the age that we're in. Haley, good to see you. So I'm just saying hey to everyone that jumps into your chat. I'm seeing all the family scoop. Come on. Yeah. Does that make any sense? Did that make sense?
It made sense to me, yeah. I definitely have to do more research into it. I've done a little bit, but you know, there's a lot to take in, right? There's a lot.
Well, one thing that is worth knowing, if nothing else, right, is that the age of Pisces, as I mentioned, is the mutable water. So it deals with like it's ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of like dreams and mysticism, right? And that is the energy that the age of Pisces has carried. This energy of mysticism, yeah, this energy of like yeah, man, mysticism, right? Religion, yeah. So now we are moving into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is intellect. We are now entering the age of information. Do you know what I mean? The age of intellect, the age of actual, like, you know, logical thought, misinformation. Mysticism's gone. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be anymore like where people are, you know, where people are kind of like thinking. Now you've got all the information in your hands. You know, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is something that's important to know.
Yeah. So then, yeah, it's pretty much safe to say that we are in that age of Aquarius. From what I understand, I feel like it would be safe to say that, or at least entering. Because like I said earlier, just reflecting on this year, and we can see like the direction of how things are going and just how everything's being digitalized. We have the most access to the most information we've, you know, potentially had ever. That is this science.
Absolutely.
Yes, Samson. It's not mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, no, it's science. There's science, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that definitely explained a lot. I don't know. Are we gonna be able to see it?
To see what? The conjunction?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm proper looking forward to it, man. Say it again.
Do we have to like try to see it? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we have to actually go to like?
I feel like you have to know what you're looking at. Like, have you ever seen Jupiter in the sky before? See, because I think for most people, they will just carry on driving their car. You know, like people don't even look at the moon, and the moon is peng, yeah, and people don't even look at it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the actual planets and you see them, then you will see it like clear as day, 100%. Like it would just look like two planets, two stars in the sky. It would just look like one star in the sky. Sorry, really, because there'll be an alignment. So it would just look like a star, unless you know what you're looking at. Do you know what I mean? It's not gonna like glow, or you know, like it's not gonna explode. It's just gonna look like a star in the sky. But if you know what you're looking at, you'll be like, there it is, that is it, and it will be very easy to see. Yeah, Gus has got proper beef for the moon, innit? Gus is not on it. Gus is telling me the moon is alien, the moon is not like, the moon is not.
Vibes, like the moon is bad vibes. But I get, you know, sometimes when the moon is like really, really close to the earth and it's huge and it's like amberish, whitish, cream.
I love it, man. I love the moon. Oh my God, the way I love the moon. I love the moon like I love food. I love the moon.
That's a lot.
Listen, I love it.
There was something else as well. I don't know if you're going to talk about, but okay, two questions. Does the conjunction affect the sun? Because there's been conversations about it affecting the sun and essentially blocking the sun or something. And there was something about the divine feminine that got introduced to the conversation as well. I can't remember exactly, but I remember hearing it from two different people through the Great Conjunction. I don't know if it was about Aquarius. Oh yeah, I don't remember, but I just thought if them words would trigger anything.
Well, Firstly, absolutely not. You got the sun, then you got Mercury, then you got Venus, then you got Earth, then you got Mars, then you got the conjunction over here. Do you know what I'm saying? So it can't block the sun because it's like it's miles away. It's really far away from the sun. So hey, Martin. Yeah.
Hold on. What is
Yeah, can't block the sun.
spiritual?
Yeah, that's it. That would be impossible. And plus, I think we have to take into account the scale of the sun. The sun is massive. Do you know what I mean? The sun is like that, and Earth is like that orbiting the sun. Do you know what I mean? Literally, like the sun is like that, and Earth and all of the. I think Jupiter's like that. Do you know what I mean? Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Earth is like that, orbiting this massive sun, like massive sun, and Earth is like that big going around it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for something to block the sun, I mean, in terms of our perception, maybe, you know, like the moon can block the sun sometimes, but I don't think that Jupiter would ever be able to block the sun, because Jupiter is always going to be on the outside of us and the sun. The only three things that are going to be in between us and the sun is the moon, Mercury, and Venus. They're the only things that will be inside us, and according to NASA, thank you. The only things that will be inside, in between us and the sun, is those three. Do you know what I mean? Everything else will be outside of the sun, will be behind us. It will never be in between us and the sun. Impossible. Do you know what I mean? And Mercury and Venus are too far away from us to really block the sun. Do you know what I mean? They'll have to come really close. The moon is really close, so he can obviously come in front of us. Do you know what I'm saying? But the other two, absolutely, they're too far away. They're like light years away, and the rest of them, they're all behind us. So that it would be impossible for them to come in front of us and block the sun.
Interesting. Planets, we are the closest, or Mercury is to the sun?
Mercury's the closest. Mercury's the closest. Yeah, Mercury, Venus, Earth.
Mercury, Venus, Earth. Okay, yeah, and then that's why you was explaining last time about the heat of the sun and the greenhouse effect, etc., etc. Gus, how big do you think the sun is? It's like it's a lot. It's very scary.
Gus is out here cussing the moon. This is why me and Gus fight, you know. Gus is out here cussing the moon. Fam. You can't cuss the moon. The moon is beautiful, you know. The moon is gorgeous.
Question. Obviously, everything derived from somewhere, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Where's that derived from, if you know? I said earlier,
yeah.
Venus, man, I love Venus. Da, 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 da. I thought of women are from Venus.
I think it's to do with the nature of the energy. Yeah, I think it's to do with the nature of the energy. I know that Mars is historically representative of masculine energy, and Venus is representative of feminine energy. I am not 100% sure on. Oh no, I have got a good idea actually on Mars, but I know for sure Venus. So Venus basically is the next planet to us, closest to the sun, right? So like I said, Mercury, Venus, Earth, right? Because it has the ozone layer. Remember I mentioned last time, hey Tashai, good to see you. Remember I said it's got like greenhouse effects, you know, so it's like proper bright, which is why it's the brightest thing in the sky, yeah? Third brightest object in the sky for that reason. But also it's insanely hot. It's the same size as Earth. Venus is the same size as Earth. But obviously it's insanely hot. It's proper hot. So hot that the surface of Venus is filled with thousands of volcanoes. Yeah. So it's got like the same makeup as Earth, in that it's got like a I think like a liquid center, which is really hot. Then it's got like a rocky crust like Earth, yeah? And then it's got the ozone layer. But the rocky crust on Venus is filled with volcanoes. These volcanoes are shooting off, the biggest one is at the size of Mount Everest, I think, a volcano, do you know what I mean? And they're shooting off, it's proper hot, do you know what I'm saying? And they are, yeah, because of that, there's like storms all around Venus, like swirling, and do you know what I mean? Like it rains acid, literally, yeah. Venus is the closest thing that we know to hell. So, but at the same time, right, while it's so volatile, it is really pretty and beautiful to look at, right? It's so beautiful to us to look up at and be like, wow, but look at it, it's shining. But that's why it's shining, right?
Yeah.
I have associated that with feminine energy. I'm saying that's where that's coming from. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously women, I lie, because women are beautiful, but at the same time, there's a lot going on under the surface that, you know, that women are carrying, yeah, that women are bringing, in terms of energy, in terms of whatever. Now Mars, on the other hand, Mars is associated with masculine energy. I'm not 1,000% certain. This is what I was saying before, but from what I remember, the reason Mars is associated with masculine energy is primarily because of its color, red. It used to be associated with blood, like in like Roman era or like back in the day. Do you know what I mean? It's associated with blood. It's been associated as like an omen of war. It's been associated, like you see Mars, like big red. It's the only red thing in the sky. Do you know what I mean? So when you see Mars doing something, when Mars goes somewhere, you know, people are thinking of masculine things. They're thinking of blood. They're thinking of war. They're thinking of whatever, right?
Yeah.
So Mars has been associated with masculine energy. Hence the men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But something that Asaya told me actually was that Mars was actually, Venus, sorry, was actually named after a I think like a transvestite. You know, Venus was actually not, yeah, Venus is actually not feminine, but masculine feminine, which I thought was quite interesting. But again, I've got to do a bit more digging on that. I'm regurgitating. I haven't actually researched that myself. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've got to come correct.
Well, I haven't heard that word in ages. Transvestite.
Yeah.
Politically correct.
People say transgender now, innit?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Transvestite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ace, what are you talking about? Play Destiny. If anyone played Destiny, you know about Mercury. What's that?
You know what? I haven't played Destiny, but I heard it's sick still.
What's Destiny?
A video game.
Oh.
What's it saying about Mercury? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's like a boy talk. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Samson was handing out information about the size of the Earth. Circumference of Earth is 24,800 miles. Diameter is 7,900 miles. Oh, Warlock. Venus is the name of the Roman goddess for sex and love. Warlock. Oh.
Another interesting fact is that every single volcano on Venus has been named after a woman. Quite interesting. Yeah, like a female celebrity or like a important female. Every single volcano, the thousands of volcanoes on Venus, every single one they've discovered has been named after a woman.
Well, damn.
Which is quite interesting.
One part of the map has blinding sunlight. The planet on the game.
Oh wow, really? Oh, that's proper sick. That sounds like Mass Effect actually. Mass Effect is similar to that, where they've kind of like you got interplanetary travel and shit.
Venus is Lucifer.
With AJ King, welcome to the space, bro.
The morning star. The sun? That's what we spoke about last week, right? On the book.
What's that?
When I was reading out in the Behold a Pale Horse, and he was speaking about Lucifer. Did he mention Venus? Was you there in that chat? He mentioned Lucifer. He mentioned the rising star. That's why what Gus said. Well, damn. Hey, Gus, are you able to come on, Gus? I want to get Samson on, but thank you. Hopefully Salome comes on.
I hope so, man. She can come and clean up the team. Do you know what I mean?
But no, I learned a lot of stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people did. Have you heard of Cyrus B Star? That's a question.
Yeah, the dog star. Gus can tell you about the dog star if he jumps on. What are you saying, Gus?
Lucifer is the fallen star. That's what I heard. That's what he said. The fallen star. That's what he was talking about. All right, cool. Let me get Samson on, then I'll see if Gus wants to come on.
Cool.
If
All
he's...
right. Respect, Samson. Looking forward to seeing you, brother. All right. Cool, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye, everyone.
Um, Samson, Gus or Samson, who wants to join first? Gus? Samson? Light means wisdom. I'm gonna request Samson because I just see your name first. And Gus, if you want to come on, talk about Dog Star. Was that it? Dog Star. Hi.
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm good.
Sorry, I always be
How are you?
out.
Hmm?
I said sorry. I always be drawing you out to come onto the live. So yeah, obviously you can you know what we're talking about. You know the conversation. As you know, as far as like astrology, are you into?
I don't follow astrology at all because it doesn't have any mathematics in it. From people I've spoken to, it's more of like a like a like it's more of like a it's not really based on anything really.
Hmm.
I'm tend to I tend to look at like astronomy, things based on astronomy, like hardcore, not hardcore, but more factual stuff, because astrology is more like personality traits and you're based on this, you follow this, and it's not really like the people that um the people that rule things or run things, they base their knowledge on astronomy. Like they follow and understand the stars and how far the stars are away from each other, and they go down to like degrees of mathematics. The Masons and stuff like that, they don't deal with astrology, they deal with more astronomy. So I've heard women talk about, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and men are, but I don't really. It doesn't have any substance really to me
Okay.
from what I.
Well, hopefully my
Yeah.
astrologer comes on later and she'll explain, because I had this conversation with her a while ago, right? But so well, are you aware of what's happening with the Great Conjunction?
Yeah, I get it. I've looked at it. I just Googled it recently, and it's interesting. I'm more interested in the mathematical side of it, like the when the planets sort of cross over and stuff like that, how they move around, the speed at what they're traveling at, and such like that. So that is more. But I don't know if it will do anything. As in, I just think people are looking for signs. Like people have been. It's almost like paganism. I think what's going on, because obviously with Saturnalia coming up, which is the equinox, when the sun, the days, hours of the day and hours of the night are almost equal. It's always around the 21st to 20th of December. So when people are talking about, oh, this is gonna happen, it's sort of like pagan sort of thing. That's what I think. Like it's not based on mathematical principles, mathematical formulas, and it's sort of, because that's what the people that this is what the world is built upon. The world is built upon mathematics. The universe is mathematical. Everything is mathematical. So if we go and say, oh, we're going to look for signs in the stars, that's like pagan things. Like I'm going to look for a sign. But yeah, I have a big deal. I sort of, as you can probably tell, astrology in me is not. I don't vibe with
But
astrology.
the Nate that was on, he's very, like you asked, if is it scientific based. So as I said, it's not like mumbo jumbo. There is science to back it, the same way there's the same science and maths to back astronomy. I think the astrology that has been like pushed in the media, like you said, is kind of more like about horoscopes, and horoscopes and astrology are not like interchangeable. They have their separate definitions. So the horoscopes is more of like the things that you'd read about your sign, blah blah blase blase blase. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whereas like astrology, Nate, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the study of the planets, no? The same way astronomy is the study of the stars.
No, I think I googled it yesterday and it said astrology is the study of how the outside world, not the outside world, but the planets and stars affect Earth, and astronomy is, so like astrology is like them looking down at us, and we us getting signs from them, and then astronomy is more like we're studying what is out there already. But I think people really should be studying the fact that who put the stars out there, understanding what they mean, distance and measurements. There is a bit of truth in it because the number 12 pops up quite a lot in religious things, like the 12 tribes. Joseph had 12 sons, I think. There's 12 zodiac signs. So there's 12, they talk about the 12 elders, the 12 major scientists. So I guess there is a bit of truth in it. Like the fundamental bit is truth. But when people start talking about the signs in the sky and stuff, that's just, to me, that's just, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never heard someone refer to it like as the signs in the sky. I've never personally heard that.
That's what people are looking at, because people are looking at the conjunction. They're like, it's going to be like the powers and stuff. When, if I told you that you was the one that put the planets out there, would you then be looking to the planets for information if you put it out there?
Interesting.
So if we are the original people, put the planets up, I believe that someone put the planets out there. Someone done it. Someone organized it a certain way. So if we put it out there, then why are we looking to it for information? If you get what I mean, when the information came from us.
Yeah.
So
Understand.
I'm not really.
Or an energy or an entity.
Because
you said you believe that someone put the planets out there. I'm saying someone like literal, a human, an energy, an entity.
Well, yeah, humans are, and we are beings of energy. So being, so the B is in us. So there's force and power in us. So when we align properly, and I'm not talking about aligning with the stars, I'm talking about when we get complete self-mastery internally, and then we can master the things outside, then putting planets out there that's easy, because a planet is something grown. So yeah, we can put the planets out there if we really wanted to, if we was all in a line, because everything you see around you is made by a human being. Whether people want to believe it or not, everything out there is made by a human being. And the little knowledge we have of it is through genetic engineering, grafting, how people can make seeds and bring out another sort of, how we make grapefruit. Grapefruit is a lime, a lemon, and an orange. That makes it grapefruit. Strawberries are grafted fruits. So that is small. That's the way we can tap in. That's something low level. But I don't believe looking into outer space for information. I think look inside. Obviously we have to get information, put something in our heads first. But yeah, I think a human being, I believe a human being done all this, created the majesty of the universe, because there's no other, like, man and woman created us. So and we are the only things that can disobey each other. The sun can never say, you know what, I'm going to stay 5 more minutes. The sun can't do that. So the sun must be under the rule of someone. The planets must be under the rule of someone, because they don't disobey. The earth is on a 23-degree axis. The earth doesn't decide, you know what, I'm going to drop down to 22 today. Or, you know what, the earth travels at the rate of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour. The earth doesn't decide, you know what, I'm going to slow down today, or I'm going to speed up. The people are pissing me off. So it must be under the rule of someone. And we're the only ones that seem to be able to disobey. So I believe it must be under a human being's control, a human being that has supreme knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and power. We have that, but ours isn't supreme. There's always one that is supreme, and then some people call that God, some people call that creator, some people want to call it energy. But energy without a physical presence is, what is that? You can't see that. You can only feel it. So, and we live in a physical world where we interact with things. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
mm.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard that
What do you think of that? Yeah.
before. What I think about what?
Yeah, what do you think of all of that?
To be honest, well, what you said, yeah, definitely interesting perspective. I've never heard that perspective before, nor actually considered that perspective. In terms of the Great Conjunction, I'm still learning about it now.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Wait. Someone just said oxygen isn't physical. Man like Ace said that. That's not true because oxygen is made up of atoms, and atoms are physical. If you get a microscope, you can see the atoms, and if you cut those down, you get something called quarks, which is something even smaller. So the very world we live in is a physical world. Oxygen is physical. It's 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, which is the atoms, and the atoms are what things that we're made up of. So what is he saying? We're not physical by saying oxygen isn't physical?
he said oxygen is only physical when it is combined with hydrogen.
No, I think he's confusing. Oxygen is a gas, but gases are still physical things. Just because we can't see it doesn't make it not physical.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we're not able to see it with our eyes. But if you get a microscope, you can see the atoms. Like you can see, and they've gone far enough to create quarks. I've got a mad book. And I think they've broken it down even further. He said you can't hold oxygen. You can't hold wind. What does that mean?
Mm.
Just because you can't, I don't know. I don't know.
That-
I think there's a lot of people that haven't studied science and studied science properly. So that's why with the astrology thing, I don't know. People are just it's a bit wild what people are saying.
But yeah,
A man said,
I'm still learning about everything, so I'm open to both perspectives, to all perspectives, to be honest. So I can make my own, cross examine all of them and make my own concise decision and input. But yeah, I definitely agree. Everything is physical, just different degrees of physical.
yeah, I agree with what Sunray said. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's as far as like in terms of astrology, again, it's something that I've always been interested in. And I know a lot of people think it's like mumbo jumbo, but there's patterns. And for me, when I was younger, when I had like a lesser understanding, it was more so how I see it in my head, right? Everyone is born at a specific time. The planets are in a specific alignment, the stars are in a specific alignment, so there's a specific energy that you're born under. So that's always been my understanding. That's how far it goes really with astrology, but it's definitely something that I'm trying to look into more, especially the science side, because I'm a very material person, so I need like things to kind of back up and prove as well.
Yeah, I agree with the thing you said about we're born at a specific time because yeah, it all makes sense if you think about just how our origin of how we were born, just from the sperm and the egg. That can't be a coincidence. The amount of millions and billions and stuff that the things that we were fighting against, the amount of odds, it has to be mathematical. So when people, it goes into another thing when people say, oh, when people get a bit down and sad and depressed, and then you can look at that. Once you look at your origin, then you definitely know that you're here for a specific reason. Because if you look at your origin, the amount of odds you had to go against, you fought against a million sperm cells, and then once you got into she had enzymes and chemicals that were trying to kill you. And once you fertilized the egg, then you had to fuse with the egg. You had to decapitate your tail, and then so all of that is stuff we have to go through, and we're not even born yet. And then once we're born, we have to go through. We're pushing against our mother's walls, and then once we get in, then we're breathing in the air, which takes up a lot of energy, and then we're constantly under the threat of gravity. Gravity is constantly pushing down upon us. So it's only when we sort of decide to, I'd say, fold, is when we just disappear, really. But no one's ever done that. So we're constantly fighting gravity. So that's something for people to think about. Just look at your origin when you're going through something bad, and if you can beat those odds, you can beat anything else, really.
I sure. I agree. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't think, oh, this is his type of conversation.
No.
But you still had a very, you know, valid and valuable input. So I appreciate you. I'm gonna get Gus to come on now. But yeah, thank you.
All good.
Gus, where are you, Gus? Oh, Bammy. Okay, Bammy. Gus, are you still in the chat? If you are, I'm gonna request you.
The opposite of physical is not metaphysical.
What's the opposite of physical then? Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, we're deep in convo here. I was listening to what the gentleman was saying beforehand, and obviously what you were saying. Can you just give me some context briefly into like what you're talking about?
So he was speaking about what conversation, right?
Yeah, just what you like. Because I'm seeing obviously you're talking about new age, new world, new energy. The great, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, so I was trying to get people's understanding of the Great Conjunction, how you interpret it, how you feel about it, and also if you had any information to teach the people, and also new age of Aquarius.
okay. What is your, because I don't really know too much about the Great Conjunction. I know it's something to do with the planets. Is it aligning or colliding? What is your
Saturn and Jupiter are going to be in alignment, basically just in the sky. And it's something that I can't remember how many years the last time that it happened, but we will only see it in lifetime now. We won't see it again. And I did children. Yeah, the guy, I don't know if he was on before when they come, and he was not this lifetime, not our children's, not even our grandchildren's lifetime. So it's definitely a special moment in terms of like solar system. Speaking about the energy of that, I know a lot of people are making conscious fast on that day. People that are just, you know, in tune into all of that. So that's kind of the general. I don't know a lot about it. That's why I wanted to hold this space for people to come and tell me about it. And then Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, as far as I know, age of Aquarius, as Nate confirmed, age of information. Someone else,
self-knowledge, self-awareness.
He was saying there's no like definitive day. It's not like, okay, the age starts on the age. There's not like a day.
Of course.
But I feel like it's safe to say we're in the age of Aquarius. So general conversation.
Okay, so would you say that we're in that age now then already, that age of Aquarius?
Me personally, yeah. If we're not in it now, how much more exposed, how much more information or access to information possibly develop? You know,
yeah, I hear
progress and stuff, but like so much information.
Yeah, I mean, my sorry, was you saying something?
No, go on.
I was gonna say my personal opinion. It's definitely 100%. I don't know if we're in that age just yet because it's the age of self-knowledge and self-awareness, and I feel like religion takes away that self-knowledge and self-awareness, and religion is still predominant today across the globe. Like people are still extremely religious, and sorry, Joe's over there somewhere. Sorry, so people are still extremely religious, and because of that, they can't think for themselves. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not sure if we're in that age just yet. I feel like when we're in the age of self-awareness and the full Aquarius, I feel like religion will be something of the past, something desolate. You know, you have to look at it as in context, right? You have of the world that we live in today. So the world that we live in today now is you've got so many different religions and so many different beliefs, and people are easily, you know, led. They're not thinking for themselves. You look at the world today, you look at the governments, you look at how people are just following whatever it is people are following. Fashion. People are not big. People are still unable to think for themselves, just as yet. There is a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of information out there, there's a lot of, you know, new knowledge, newfound knowledge, there's a lot of awareness out there. People are becoming more aware, but to say that we're in that age yet where people are self-aware, where the majority of people are self-aware, is something that, you know, you can look at the facts yourself and see that there are still a lot of people who aren't. But then you also have to look at, in my opinion, the time span in terms of sort of where we're going and where we're heading to. So obviously, as I said before, we've got the whole religious thing, we've got the whole people are, you know, still following religion and all that kind of stuff. As time starts to pass on, you have to understand that your parents, or my parents anyway, and my grandparents and my great grandparents were more religious than I would ever be, and my kids will ever be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Naturally, just because of the way of life and the way life has evolved, especially in the Western society that we all, majority of us live in, religion, for my kids anyway, when I have kids and my kids' kids, I know my kids' kids, they won't be believing in Jesus or believing in Muhammad or believing in the way people do now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at that stage, we can start to say that people will believe in themselves more. And people will believe in what they can see. Because the thing is, what we can see is what we know, and what we can see is what we believe. And what we can see doesn't necessarily mean what we can see physically, as in I can see you in front of me. Mm-hmm. It's also what we can see in terms of books, reading, knowledge, etc., etc. And what you have to understand is, as time goes on, more and more people will see the stories of the Bible, for example, the stories of the Quran, the stories of, you know, the Black history and everything that happened, and they will just see it as stories. Because what they will because of the way the world is going, it's so physical, it's so materialistic, yeah, that people can't see the spiritual aspect of what it is. Mm-hmm. So this is all my opinion, by the way. This is all my opinion, by the way. I'm just making that clear. This is not facts. This is just my opinion. But I feel like, because of the physicality of the world and the way the world is moving, and the way people are so materialistic and so dependent on material things, you know, the next stage into that is the self-awareness, whereby but spirituality. Do you want to cut me? Sorry, go on.
No, sorry, your connection just chipped out.
Oh, by the way, I'm in Sierra Leone, by the way. So the connection right now is only God that's helping us right now through this 3G connection. Yeah.
Yes, you can... Hello?
No, I said, did you say something?
No, you can continue.
Okay, cool. So the next stage into that, as I said, is self, because this whole, if you look back into our history, humans have always believed that there is something greater, and talking about history, there is something greater than them that exists out there. Mm-hmm. As time has passed through time, you can understand now that more and more people believe that this thing that exists is inside of them. Mm-hmm. As time continues to pass, this thing that exists will no longer exist. It's just them. There is no thing anymore. It's just them. At that stage now, it's like, cool. To get to that stage, I believe anyway, that's the Aquarius stage, where religion cannot save you. It cannot speak to the people anymore, where spirituality to an extent might not even speak to the people. I'm talking about Generation Z. I'm talking about these kind of people that are coming out, where all they see and know is physical. They don't understand anything spiritual. I know kids that are 10 years old, 9 years old, you know, and I see them now, and the way they're so onto YouTube and onto all these things. This is the things that we see. They don't understand anything spiritual. For them to understand that there is something inside them that, or they can connect to a higher being, it's going to be fairy tales for them. This is the stage of Aquarius. And at that stage, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen, because that's going to be a completely new age. we might not even be alive at that age. This could be 100 years from now, 200-300 years from now. We may never be alive, but the history, I always say this to my people, history always repeats itself. If you look at history and you continue like going down the chain of history, we have become less and less and less spiritual. We have become less. If you look at our ancestors, so the brother that was speaking beforehand, he said, oh, why do we, we shouldn't look to the stars for signs. We should be asking the question, who created the stars? That's a very good question, and I agree with that. But I'm a Christian, okay, and I have my reasons. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm a Christian, and in the Bible it says that we should use the stars and the sun for signs. It says that. It doesn't say use the suns and the stars as God. It says use the suns and the stars as signs. Now, obviously, some people might argue and say, yeah, but where does the text come from? It's the Bible, white man book, da 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 da. Cool, I hear that. Fair enough. But let's just look at what it says. It says use the stars for signs. Now, if we look back to like our ancestors, people who, were before our time. I'm talking about where there was no street lights on the road. I'm talking about where there's no bus lights, there's no car lights. It's literally, when it turns 10 o'clock, it's dark, pitch black. And when you look up to the sky, there's the moon and the stars. That's it. What else are you going to use for signs to even find direction? What else are you going to use for signs to even give you comfort as a human being that, okay, cool, there is something out there greater than me? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So the stars and the moon and all these things are used for signs. People will never be able to understand that now because we don't even see stars in London. That's how crazy it is. We don't even see stars in London. We don't even see like the moon as it should be seen. We don't understand it that way. We just see our stars in the sky. Oh, great, it looks nice. But there is...
Oh. Oh, it's chipping.
The connection is mad.
Can you guys hear him?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you give me 1 second? Give me 1 second. Can you hear me? The connection is mad. Sorry. Did you say something or did I cut out?
No. You just cut out.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so we're moving into an age where people don't even. But the guy was saying how you need to look to who created the stars and who created the thing and all this stuff. And it's like, if you look in our history and in his history, because he's a black guy, so in his own history, as a black man, ancestors used the stars to get to where we are now, in a place where we're living, London. London was built by us people. It was built by our knowledge. And our knowledge is what made them come to here and say, oh, let's use what you have and da da da. But we was living by the stars and the moon, and we lived by these things. This is real, you know what I'm trying to say. So and also I wanted to just touch on the new world really quickly, the new world. So or the new energy, the new energy, really, not really the new world, because the new world, I believe anyway, is the new age, but the new energy that we're about to experience is an energy that is I don't know, man. I just feel like, and I'm just gonna say this again, I feel like the world that we're living now is becoming more and more physical. More and more physical. Everything is directed onto a physical aspect, a physical viewpoint of everything. And we, especially us black people, we need to tap into our spiritual energy within us and connect to God, literally. Like, that is the only way. Bammy, what God are you talking about? I'm not going to go into that. But the main aspect of it is we need to tap into our spirituality. And we need to turn away from these physical things that we see and that we idolize and that we give attention to. Because these physical things can never allow us to connect to a spiritual being. You have to understand, you cannot connect to a spiritual being using physical elements or physical attributes, because what is physical isn't metaphysical. What is spiritual. Whether that is God, whether that is energy, whatever it is, we cannot connect to that through a physical thing. That's what I believe. And because I believe in that, it makes sense to me that, cool, the world, and when I talk about the world, I'm talking about the Western world, because the Western world is obviously what controls the world. I'm here in Africa right now. All I hear and all I see when I look up the stars is literal stars. I can see thunder and there's no sound. But these are things that you could never see in London. Never, ever, ever. And that's just a prime example. But there's so many other things, like the idolization of beauty, the physical beauty as opposed to the inner beauty is an example. It's a simple example. People would focus more on how you look on the outside and what you have to give on the outside as opposed to who you are as a person, your personality. And this is just to show that this whole spirituality concept and the concept of our ancestors is being brushed out by the Western society purposely for their control. Because once you are physical, you can no longer think for yourself. That's my perception. Once you're physical, you're led by things that you can see. But it's a deeper thing though, because things that you can't see is where we need to be at. That's where the power is. That's where we channel everything. That's where the chakra is, and all of that stuff is in the things that we can't see. And I think I can just go on for time, but that's basically what I wanted to just touch on. I just wanted to just, you know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate
No
that.
worries.
Very interesting perspective.
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm just gonna read some comments while you're here because it was in relation to what you were saying. Dun,
Okay.
dun. Let me. I don't want to go that far out. If anything, we are compromised of the same energy. To create means to put something into existence, not make from something already in creation. The stars are older than him. To create means to put something.
Means to put something into existence, not make from
That
something already in
in reply to
creation. That's
what
true.
was that in reply to what Samson was saying?
I think it might be because the stars were older than him. But to create means to put something into existence, not to make from something already in creation. So to the guy that said that, would you say that if I made a house, does that mean that I didn't create it because the mortar and the brick already existed in that form? Is that what you're saying?
Because what I'm understanding is that because the suns are older than humans, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, because Samson was saying, yeah, we created everything, so everything came from us, as opposed to another perspective. We came from everything else.
Okay. So as in what we created everything that we see, is that what you're saying? Or that everything?
Yeah, he said that's what. Yeah, so that's what he was saying. We create everything, not everything create us.
That's the difference from making and creating. Makes sense. I agree. Makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on,
Yes, please.
and I appreciate your perspective. I learned a lot. This is what I like.
Yes.
But yeah,
Glad.
are you Nate's friend?
Yes, Nate, the brother Nate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Nate's boy. We're good. We're cool.
And sorry, I'm being nosy. How long you been in Sierra Leone?
Oh, I literally just got there today.
Oh,
Couple of hours. Literally today.
and
We're literally in the village. Me and my boy Sam. Let me show you Sam. Hey,
hi,
Sam.
hi, Sam.
Good evening.
Hey, Sam. How long you out there for?
Yeah.
How long you out there for?
So I'm out there for a month. I'm here for a month, but Sam's gonna be here for a week and a bit, I think.
Oh, are you from Sierra
But I'm out here
Leone?
for a month. Yeah, I'm from Sierra Leone. I'm from Sierra Leone, Gambia, Nigeria. But I thought, let me just come here and I need a refresh. I need to start again. Do you know what I mean? It needs to we need to start again. There's too much happening this year. I'm grateful for the year though. Don't ever get twisted, because the only reason why I'm here is because of the year that we had. Really and truly. I would not be here if we had like a normal year, for example. Do you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for the year. I'm grateful for Corona. I'm grateful for everything. The Black Lives Matter movement, everything. Whether I believe in it or not, I'm grateful for it. But I'm happy that I'm here because I've learned a lot just from the one day. Let me just say something, yeah? So I've seen so much women just walking about, and a lot of these women are literally like walking, carrying food on their head. Kids the age of 9, 10, literally at 6 a.m. in the morning, walking, carrying food, water on their head to sell. And it makes me think, like, the spiritual aspect in that is there. Because, and I'm going to go back to the Bible again, innit? And this may sound a bit annoying for a lot of people, but in the Bible it says, like, by the sweat of your brow you will eat, right? When you look at the Western world, they've made everything so easy for us not to sweat. Yeah, for us not to really work hard. Now, I'm not saying that, cool, we should be walking with water on our head and as people here. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that the what's it called? The word's gone out of my head. But the whole point of by your sweat you eat is not just the thing of you sweat, you get what you want. But through sweating, it also burns out fat. It also does other things to your body as well. Because I can also sweat working 9 to 5 in an office, but that's not going to burn fat. That's not going to do anything to my body. And it's in its entirety that we have to look at what the Bible and the word is saying when it says, by the sweat of our brow, we will eat. And these people are out here sweating, but when I look at them, their skin is glowing. The women don't wear makeup, you know, no weave, all natural hair, and they are beautiful, like literally beautiful. If you come back to London now, it's a completely different thing. I'm not saying don't wear makeup or no, but I'm saying look at the difference. These people don't even realize that they don't have makeup on their face. They don't see it because that's all physical. They don't see all of this stuff. They're just focused on, look, I am here. Most of these people, when you speak to them, they're all about God, spirituality. Yes, they're religious, but they are definitely a lot more spiritual than a lot of the guys over there, where we come from. You know what I'm trying to say? And the proof of that is in the culture. The proof of that is in the beliefs. The proof of that is in the fact that these people still, to this day, follow the signs of the stars and the sun and the moon up till now in the 21st century. Even though we have a Western society that is trying to push this away from us, these people are still believing in this. And it's amazing. The energy here is just very, very different. I would advise anyone who is saving that money to go to Dubai, New York, wherever you're going, put that money and go back to where you're from. I'm telling you, you will never regret it. I promise you that. I promise you that. I promise you that. Money well spent. And this is the first day. This is the first day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. How was the procedure flying out there with, like, you know, the coronavirus? You have to get tested.
Yes, you have to obviously get tested in the UK beforehand. So they do like the throat thing and the nose thing, and then obviously you get your fit to fly certificate, and then when we get here we have to fill out a form, and then we do another test at the airport. But I took a connecting flight, so I flew from Heathrow through to Turkey, stayed in Turkey for a day, and then went to SL. But luckily we didn't have to do a COVID test in Turkey, only in SL. But I hated it. I didn't like it. It's annoying. It went through my nose. And obviously, when you're in Africa, these people, you know, these are aunties, innit? So they're not going to be like, oh, sorry. They're just going to move your head up and put that thing there. So it was annoying. But listen, I'm happy to be here, man. I can say it over and over again. I am happy to be here, honestly. Where are you from?
Barbados, Jamaica.
Okay. When are you going back?
Well, hopefully soon. It just depends if anything changes. I had something booked, and then obviously when so I kind of had to shift the date. So as long as the gates stay open. I'm flying out very soon. Going to,
Yeah.
I was like, let me just go. I need some sun.
Yeah.
Very pale, like it's not, and I want to see my grandma. So, yeah, very soon.
Oh, you got family.
Yeah. My grandma's at Barbados, so I'll be seeing her.
Mhm.
I haven't been to nowhere in Africa yet, so I'm due.
Haven't.
I was supposed to go this year. I was supposed to go Gambia at the beginning of the year.
What? Gambia. You love Gambia.
Did it
You love
happen?
Gambia. I've been to Gambia. I was in Gambia when I was like 7 for like a year or 2 years. You love Gambia. Gambia's amazing. Yeah, nice beaches in the nighttime. Again, just energy. It's nice. Gambia's nice.
Yeah. I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
It's Gambia, Ghana, Ethiopia,
Mhm.
Nigeria. They're probably the top 4 countries that I want to go to first.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to the rest of the continent.
And just explore. Yeah. I would say, you know what I would say? I even though I'm from Gambia and I've been there, I would say go to Ethiopia. Reason why is because obviously you seem like a very spiritual person and someone who's, you seem like someone who's like, you know, into your, Jesus. Loser, what is that? Sorry, there's insects everywhere. You seem like someone who is like into your Black history. That's what I was meant to say. And obviously Ethiopia, you know, we know that is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, that is standing today. I would love to go to Ethiopia, Mali as well. I'd love to go to Mali. I didn't even know that. We have a tribe here in Sierra Leone called the Mende, and that Mende tribe actually comes from the Mandingos, and the Mandingos come from Mali. That's what I was told anyway today. So I learned something new. So the Mali, apparently they had the fall of their kingdom. That's when the Mandingos came to, some of them came to Sierra Leone, to the west. And obviously from then, because at the time there was only Shabro in Sierra Leone. Then you had the Mendes, Mandingos, that came and did the whole Mende tribe thing. Then you have the Mende, Shabros, you have now the Timni and Creoles and stuff. So
I need to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to sleep? You didn't sleep? Nights. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. Be early though. Sorry.
What time is it there?
Same time, 10:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10:30. It's hot though. It's hot. As in, right now I'm not too sure, but it's probably at least 30. Yeah, as in, if you go in the house now, there's fans everywhere. Everywhere. And the maddest thing is, these people don't have, the kids here don't have nothing, like no phones, no entertainment, like they the stick and the tire. You see the kids literally just having fun, and it's like these kids are not complaining. They're not complaining because they don't know all of this physical stuff.
Yeah.
All they know is go on.
It's just lagging.
What did you say? Is it lagging?
You hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's going slow. It's lagging.
It's lagging. It's lagging. You know what it is, yeah? Is the connection here. It's crazy. But let me love you and leave you, because I don't want to hold up your show and the connection just being mazzoline right now.
Join in. I appreciate you.
No worries. What did you say?
Said enjoy your time in Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye.
Yeah. All right, talk to you in a bit. Bye.
Sorry, Ace. It was lagging. It was lagging. But yeah, where's Gus? Who's next? Sorry, Gus. Who's next? Shakti, I travel by myself all the time. I was gonna go to Gambia by myself. Yeah,
Yo,
Hi.
coming in from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, hey. How you doing? How you
Pretty good. I've been checking out your live today, and everybody's dropping some bars.
I
So I
know.
wanted to stop by and see what's going on. I do have a question about that thing in the back. It's a gourd, right? That yeah, yeah. And
This or
when yeah, the thing that holds something. Yeah,
this?
yeah. What's in there?
It's a bag.
It's a bag. Oh, it looks like the in Ifa they have like a juju thing that you wear around your neck, and you put like your spiritual magic in there.
No, hold on. It's a bag. It's my calabash bag from Jamaica.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Big bag.
it's one of those things that I guess our diaspora we kind of do the same thing across no matter where we at. We kind of make the same designs.
Yeah. Them bags are everywhere in Jamaica. That one's just a really big one.
Yeah, who's that? The Caporista King. Oh man, no, dude, not a Caporista. Oh, everybody's jumping in. Oh shit, I forgot. This thing tells my people that I'm on live too. I'm supposed to be in class, so a lot of these people are probably about to be upset. Like, why you ain't answering my call?
But yeah, did you want to add anything to the conversation?
Yeah, so this new age, new world, new energy thing, 21, 12, 20. I think that is really important. I did write a book about frequency as far as how to reorganize your uh, your reality through the way that you think and through the rituals that you carry out every day. So the question I do have for everybody that's listening is, when 21, 12, 20 comes around, what's going to be your new ritual for the new age, so that you can actually step into the frequency that you desire to be. So, just to break down the language that I'm using, frequency, this and the way that I explain it in the book, our minds have these electromagnetic frequencies, which, based off of what we do, change. So, if you start waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and your actions and behaviors change, the thought process that you have throughout your day change, your meditation practice, it changed, fasting, it changed, exercise, it changed. So you slowly become more of a different type of archetype in your own life. So for 21, 12, 20, I want to know what everybody's new ritual is going to be. So I guess I can ask you that question. What would be your new ritual stepping forward?
Um, my new ritual. I don't know. I think as of recent, I've been going to bed a lot later. And do you know what? It's a good time actually to implement a new ritual, because obviously now in the UK we've entered winter, so we get like 7-8 hours of like light. It's not even sunlight, just light max. So my days have just completely shifted. So maybe just implementing something to kind of like make my morning early rise experience a lot more enjoyable. I want to get exercising, but again, the weather, like, just the sun is not out. Like, the sun comes up at like 8 a.m. It's so
Yeah,
demotivating with that. But I haven't actually, like, even I need to think about it. But definitely something physical and also something spiritual. So really making time to manifest, meditate, sorry, pray, actually have like solidified and consistent times, because sometimes I just like do it sporadically.
yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
So that's a good question. I haven't asked myself yet. So now I guess I got to ask myself. I'm thinking, I've just recently started picking up new rituals. I've been having to wake up around 4 a.m. just to like fit in time for myself. So that's kind of the new ritual that I've gotten. Right now I'm trying to cram like as much as I can in an hour and a half. So right now it's 20-minute meditation, 1 hour movement, which is capoeira and 52 blocks. And then after that, I try to do at least 2 things that I know will support my business moving forward, because I'm working all day.
Yeah,
So I go to sleep at 9, Richard.
that's
I'm an
good.
old man.
Well, see, like for example, now, right, it's 10 in the UK. So by the time I get off live and then I finish doing my work, it's gonna be super, super late. So we're not. Gonna try to go to bed early today because I actually do like getting up early in the morning. I don't like getting up late. It's just not
Yeah.
it. I had to get up at least before like 9, 10 o'clock. After that, it's just the day's finished.
Yeah. Quick question. What is mad? What does that mean? Like, how do you use that properly?
Oh, he's saying like, rah, that's mad. Like, wow, like, man, that's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so did you say that you ran 52 blocks?
Oh, I practice 52 blocks. No, I don't run 52 blocks. Sorry. 52 blocks is a African American martial arts system that is built into prison systems here. So basically, what you do is you utilize blocks to create defensive blockade. So like, you know, the eyes is the ultimate thing to take over in somebody if you're fighting. So if you're using 52 blocks, you're using your hands to disguise your next attack and also to keep them away from you. Also, he knows what 52 blocks is.
Oh, yeah, that's why he was saying like, bro, that's mad.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess he knows how intense it is. But yeah, I didn't know. I've never heard of that before. Never.
Okay, for sure. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get off your live though. I don't want to take up too much time.
Okay, well, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. See
All
you
right, peace.
later. 52 blocks. There's so many things. There's just capoeira. What's that dancing one? But they look like they're fake fighting. I be learning about so many of these like different forms of exercise and martial arts and yada yada yada. He said, "What's mad mean?" Oh gosh! Listen, guys, I'm not staying on here all night, right? We're not doing it tonight. We're gonna implement a new ritual.
Alright.
What are you eating? Pistachios.
Pistachios.
Ah,
Pistachios.
yeah.
Bang bang. One this. Hello people.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm alright, man. Getting on with it. What about you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Everyone dropping gems here today still.
Yeah. Did you
Come again?
hear me?
Kinda.
Why?
I heard what you just said there. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
Oh my God.
Say something?
I said I like your hair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. You too, man. What do you mean? Come on. Dread out here and that. Alright. It's not dread that. I don't even know where to start, you know. Call.
Okay. Let's start with your beef with the moon.
Right. Okay. Listen, I don't have a beef with the moon. I just listen. Yeah. My thing is if you observe it and you pay attention to it, it just starts becoming a bit peculiar. The first thing is obviously everyone probably noticed we only see one side of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not even what's the weird part. The weird part is it's like so imagine while you're rotating, imagine you standing in the room rotating, spinning on your axis, and I'm there spinning on my axis, making sure you don't see my other side.
So basically,
So the moon moves right, like it's hiding itself. Like the moon, the way it rotates around the Earth, it don't spin on its axis like anything else in the solar system, according to NASA. According to NASA, right? The moon rotates mathematically perfectly in relation to the Earth to make sure that we only see one side. That's weird. That's weird. No one can explain why it does that. You know what I mean? So that's the first. That phenomenon hasn't been observed anywhere else in the universe by NASA. You know, so that's why it's very weird. So that's my concern with the moon. But my thing was when I was in Jamaica, right? The first time I looked through a telescope, So already, obviously, in Jamaica, you can see everything at that point. You know what I mean? There's no pollution or nothing. Well, not as much. Not as much pollution. But with the telescope, I saw it, like, and I have to say, it kind of changed I saw it and I was like, all right, what I thought before and what I think now is different, isn't it? I think there's definitely people on the moon. That's my
So how, when you saw it through the what's it called?
telescope.
Telescope. I always get telescope and stuff.
Right.
When you saw it through that, how like close did you see? Like, could you see of the moon? Could you see like the actual tech?
Yeah. What? You can see all of that, like, and it's like what you start to see is like it look like ley lines, isn't it? And these, like the way it looks, they say they're craters. But my thing's always been, I've always said, another thing about the moon. Another thing about the moon is the way it shines, right? The way it gives off light. Always said, right, the sun, they say it's the moon that is reflecting the light from the sun. My thing is, what properties is the moon composed of that can reflect light brilliantly like that? Because sometimes the moon is shining to such a degree, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Like, we've all seen the moon where it's just shining ridiculous. There's no water, no ice, no atmosphere on the moon, none of those things to reflect light. All it has is apparently just mud and dirt, apparently. Again, according to NASA. So, you know, but that's why I even saw an article the other day, them talking about apparently there's water on the moon. So, you know what I mean? But that's NASA, man. We don't trust them. Man. They say one thing and then 5 months later they'll say something else.
Yeah.
So, you know, got to take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, the moon's interesting, you know. Once upon a time people say it weren't in the sky. So that's another thing. You know. Don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
You heard of that?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that. So interesting. I'll be just learning stuff today. Do you have anything to add to like the Great Conjunction, the Age of Aquarius, the New World, the New Shift? Yeah. What's your
But I think, before that, can you hear me this?
Yeah.
Right. Before I say that, Nate mentioned something earlier about the dog star, innit?
Yeah.
Right. So what that is about is in Egypt, between, I don't even know when it is, but it's sometime in July, innit? I'm July in it, so that's why I remember that. So it's sometime in July. That's when the river now would flood, and it would be at the rising of the Sirius, obviously the dog star. So that's why it's referred to as, you know, the dog star Sirius. What's interesting now is when you think about canines, obviously you say the dog star. You have cannabis. They say that's something that came here. It's a gift from the gods, and when they say where they got it from, it's most likely again Sirius. You know, they talk about the Dogons as well. There's always this thing with Sirius. I don't know what it is. They say that's our origins, or some of our origins. You know, so that's what the dog star thing is about. So you have these things called dog days. I'm born in dog days, and I'm the 23rd of July, so it's like mad hot apparently in Egypt that time period. So yeah, that's what the dog star thing was about. Regarding the new age thing, I'll be honest with you. I feel like we're kind of already in it. I feel like there's obviously definitely a shift that's happened. People are way too integrated with technology. I feel we're here. Like, we're in the very early stages of it, but people can't put their phones down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we're here, like, you know what I mean? We're doing this, like, this is normal. This is almost just as normal as me actually sitting down from opposite the table to you having a conversation. Like, this has all been normalized, and I don't know when it happened, you know what I mean? 10 years ago, this wasn't normal. So, you know, but that's the thing, I guess, when you're entering into something, you don't really,
you're not aware.
On the cusp of something. Right, on the cusp of something, you're not really too, it's just like, oh, we're here now, kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, that's regarding the new age thing. another thing, let me actually read the whole thing. Right. When I said about the, no, not even what I said. When my guy Samson was talking about the stars, right? My thing is, I'm not particularly, I don't convict myself to any sort of specific school of thought in it. I just read and you get it, just learn, and whatever sticks to me sticks. But throughout all religions or this mythos, yeah, there's always talking about man being given the ability to be intelligent, and the first sign of intelligence I'd probably say is it's going to be language or signs and symbols. You know, that's probably the most primitive form of expression you will find in man, is him getting a stick. Beyond him dancing and that, I don't know. Like in the world, it would be him making signs and symbols, and they have the most primal sort of effect on our minds. Just signs, just two lines, just a circle, just a dot. Like these have very strong impressions on our mind. So when you look in the stars, right, you can almost, obviously you can't connect them. They're not connected, but I believe it's like you know, like synapses in the brain, kind of. It's like all them things there, so they're connected. They may not look connected, but they're all just like on a grid sort of thing, and then you can draw out lines. And this is a bit of a tangent, but like in Norse mythology, this is probably the best way to explain it. There's in Norse mythology, the one of the gods called Odin, right? And I don't know what the woman's called, but his lover, or the woman, she literally says she was drawing runes in the sky. Runes, that's how they refer them to. So sigils or runes, how you refer them to. She was drawing them in the sky, and through that, my man learned how to create within his world by learning the stuff up there. You know, you get into Hebrew, Kabbalah, all these things, like, they tell you to pay attention to the stars. The thing about the Bible is you could pull out a quote talking about God telling a man to pay attention, but at the same time you could find something in the book telling man not to do it, because from what I've read of the Bible, God's definitely already told man more than once not to pay attention to the stars. Oh, don't do that. Divination, witchcraft, no. Yeah, get your head cut off for that. Don't do that. So, you know, the Bible will tell you a lot of things. It's going to say a lot of things, because it's a compilation of different works from different people. It's not like one organized, solid body of work. So that's regarding the whatever it was we were talking about. Yeah, the stuff in the sky.
Oh,
yeah,
energy. Interesting.
yeah, energy.
Interesting how we all have like different perspectives on like whether we're in the age, whether we're entering. You know, how Bami, you know, from his perspective, we aren't there yet. But then I feel like there's another perspective. It was like, you know, we are in the age of information, essentially. So I guess it depends on like what you define as being inside the age.
Right. Yeah, it's that
the weird beginning, entering phase. Some people might just count when we're actually all in it. You know, it's very like technical.
It is. It's that thing now, in it, like you said, it's the difference between paradigms. Because I don't even want to get into it yet, but I'll be honest. You see, there's Damian Marley had a quote, in the song with Nas Patience. He said, "The average man can't prove half the things he chooses to speak of." So all of us can sit here and talk, say, yeah, you know, that's going on out there, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on out there. And my thing is now, I'm definitely going on a tangent, right? But the powers that be put such a very strong, basically they don't want you. You're allowed to go north, you're allowed to go east, south, and west, and even that's kind of limited. You know what I mean? You're gonna get stopped by bodies of water, or literally by border patrol, whatever it is, right? So you can go north, east, south, or west to a certain degree, but you can't go up. You're not allowed to go down. So I think that's something we should think about. You know, you're not allowed to go up there. Like, you're not. So they can tell us what's up there, but you don't want us going up there. I find that very curious. You know what I mean? And just the skeptic in me, right? You're giving me all that information about up there. You're telling me about Venus's atmosphere, and you know what I mean? You want to tell me about all the materials the sun's made of, but you're not letting me go up there to verify these things for myself. So we have to ask the government. Same thing with down there. They tell us, you keep digging down. Yo, see you in the morning, yeah? You gotta keep digging down, and you gotta get to the core. That's what they tell us. But if you go in your backyard, you start digging. You know what I mean? After a couple weeks, MI5 are knocking on your door. What are you doing, mate? You're not allowed to go down there. There's a point you'll get stopped. And you know what I mean? Like, so maybe I'm just conspiracy theorist and I look crazy, I know, but listen, I'm just saying, dog, innit? Like, I just be there thinking, like, they don't want you to know anything, really. They give you information and hope that you just, not even hope. If you don't eat it up, you don't eat it up. What are you gonna do? You're gonna build a rocket, go up there and find out for yourself? And even if you did do that, you'll get shot down for invading airspace. They will try radio to you. If you haven't got a radio on that spaceship, or that whatever it is that's making you leave the atmosphere, if you haven't got a radio transmission on that, they're shooting you down because they don't know who you are. They don't know what's in that vehicle with you. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want to say we're prisoners on whatever this is we're on, but it definitely seems like it. You know, it seems that we're trapped here, whatever this is.
Someone was alive the other day, and the use is like I can't remember exactly what they said, but it's like we're almost in like open air or roofless concentration camps, because we still have like you know, our freedom, but there's still like, you know, blockages and walls around our so-called freedom.
Right.
But yeah, that's interesting. You say you're not allowed to go up, you're not allowed to go down. I saw you're not
You're
even
allowed to go north, east, southwest.
to certain parts of Antarctica as well. I've heard
No,
that.
that's what I'm saying. To a degree, you're allowed to go north, east, south, and west, and it's just all very heavily regulated. You know what I mean? And what is interesting now is in Antarctica, is almost all nations have a military base there, except you can probably guess who don't have a military base there. Any nation from Africa, or any nation that's black, as far as I know, innit? Japan got something up there, Russia got something up there, England got something up there, America got something up there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? There's enough people in it. Everyone has military bases all over around the world, but obviously our nations, our military bases, we're not gonna have nothing up there. And it's just very curious, you know, when you think about the migration of peoples to indigenous peoples, they're always coming from the north, it seems. You know, and pushing people down. You always find the darker caste people more likely in the southern regions of whatever country it is or region they're populating. You know, and especially maybe when you get to start Asia and that, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? You get pushed down, and that's just the whole dynamics of classism and racism. It's all mixed up. But that's a different conversation. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about stars. But one thing I will add, right, in terms of perspective, is them things. Samson made a good point, actually. He was talking about, it seems everything in the universe works under a certain intelligence, except from us. We seem to be a bit disobedient and we can do what we want. Now, this is a bit biblical as well, but the Bible talks about, obviously, the angels, right? And the angels, there were some angels that decided to go against what God was saying and decided to come down to earth and stray from their appointed positions. That's the term they use in the Bible, to leave their appointed positions. Now, what's interesting is the reason why we refer to the planets as planets. That means wandering star. That's how, you know, the ones in antiquities, that's how they refer to them, as Roman stars. So what's interesting now is they say that them planets, the ones that are wandering, allegorically, metaphorically, within the Bible, it is those things, those are the fallen stars. So, and what's interesting is we say Venus is the goddess of love. We say Mars is the god of war. We appoint these quote unquote wandering stars we appoint them characteristics. You know, we say Mars is the god of war, Venus is the goddess of love, Saturn is the god of time, Jupiter, where is Jupiter? I don't know, I can't remember, but you get the point, right? It is something you will give to them, and I just find that interesting. You know, that they were worshipped. That's why they're called gods. That's why they're all referred to as gods. You know, we need to, and if we understand that everything is conscious, everything is alive, and we believe the earth is alive and has a consciousness of its own, do them planets out there have a consciousness of their own? And are they all harmonious with this thing that we're involved in? That would be my open-ended question that one would think about, you know. Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of information, but I came to learn, I came to speak, I came to moderate. But yeah, hold on, I'll read some of the comments whilst we're here. They can keep Antarctica, bro. We need to. Earth is a prison. We can't leave here unless you have spiritual know-how.
Yeah.
Do you know what I always think? I always think like nothing actually leaves the earth. Like everything stays here. Like even just like looking at it from like a simplistic mind, like even rubbish, you can't like throw it up in the air and then it just like evaporates into space. Like everything stays here. Nothing.
Everything's down here.
Yeah. Nothing.
If you know anything about like Hebrew mysticism and that,
What, so,
or like true life,
yeah,
like Hebrew mysticism, like Kabbalah and that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they say something interesting. They refer to what we're hearing. They'll call it Malkuth. That's the earthly realm. It's like you can't get out. Like how you ended up here, who knows? And that's the thing now. It's like even in the Bible, there's something going on. My man made a man and a woman, put them in a garden. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, you guys do your thing and that, but don't do that. Other than that, though, you're cool. And they do that one thing he told them not to do, and he throws them out because they get too smart. They're like, what's going on? And he's like, nah, you can't stay here no more. Think about it. I mean, all right, so we have like the Gnostic Christians, and like they're like back in the day, innit? I mean, you probably find some like remnants of it today. I don't know. But the Gnostics were a sect of Christians back in the day who basically believed that the God, right, who rules this world is evil. That's what they thought. And we're living in a prison. And the God who created this world is a fake God. He's not a real God. So when they were talking about the difference between creation and making, they're saying that this God isn't a real God. He can't actually create. He just has to sort of like he gets something and he does what he does with it. And so yeah, you know, there's always been that sort of idea that we're hostages in it somewhere. We've spiritually been trapped in a dimension or some sort of world where we have amnesia. We don't really remember. You don't even remember what happened. You know what I mean? You don't remember beyond a certain age. You know what I mean? Everything's sort of like cycles and loops. You know, it's like you wake up, it's the same thing. The days of the week again, you know, today's Monday, ruled by the moon. Tuesday, you're ruled by something else. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I know Friday's Venus. I know Saturday's Saturn. Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. But the fact is that we seem to be governed. And again, it's like the stars, even them, they had a different view. We look at them today and like our moon, the stars is, you know, Venus and Mars is conjunction there and blah, blah, blah. And that makes me like this. They used to think these things up there are, again, you need to fight to get from under the influence. Because they believed and understood that these things have an influence on us here on Earth. You know, there's a reason why when there's a full moon, people are privy to acting peculiar at times. You know, that's where you say lunatic. You know, I'm pretty sure we all heard of all of that terminology. Because it's a real thing. These things up there have an influence on us. And you know, the same thing they talk about trying to get rid of being impressionable and influenced by the material, earthly realm. Here, you know, you smell something nice, you walk in, you know what I mean? You're like, I know I shouldn't eat that, but it smells nice, you know. The flesh and, you know, the senses and the things that appeal to them. And they're saying same thing, there's things that govern us on a spiritual realm or in a mental realm, which, you know, up there, some people say it's a mental, spiritual, whatever. But again, we have to escape these influences. But that's just a school of thought that I don't necessarily pertain to, but I entertain it because there is a bit of sense in it for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh. Sorry.
What do you think about the stars and all of that?
I'm very open, just because I haven't, like, all of this today for me, research essentially. So I'm kind of up my like portfolio and being able to like discerning opinion. But you know, I definitely kind of agree. There's loads of things that I do agree with. You know, the fact that our ancestors followed them. You know, like there was obviously the sun and the stars before there was like lampposts and stuff. And just, you know, the fact that the pyramids are in alignment with specific stars, etc. So yeah, I kind of like have like a general understanding. The perspective that was new to me today was the one that Samson shared about us putting the stuff there, us placing the planets and the stars there as opposed to them being there and then producing us. So that was interesting. And what?
I mean, what, you never heard that one before?
No.
No? Ain't that what the Bible say?
I'm a Bible basher. Like I'm not around people that are necessarily the Bible basher, but yeah, like, so I've never taken in the Bible like that. I know like one verse and it's about love. So I never really, and because, you know, when I was like on my little journey and I found out a lot of things that I did about religion, I was kind of like turn a blind eye to the Bible in totality. I grew up in a house, but now on the other side, you know, you're just in your conscious journey, you're like, you know, very self-righteous, and then now that I'm on the other side of that, I can kind of look back and see in the scriptures and actually like dissect them and take them for not just be like clouded by white Jesus, like Western Christianity, etc. I can actually hear them differently. So I have different lenses on essentially. So yes, he was, because you mentioned something out of the Bible and so did Bami, and I was just able to see it differently. So that's kind of
I'm not I'm not religious, like I'm not religious, yeah, but I feel like I was like you, Bliss, innit? Like I was on my conscious shit, you know what I mean? I'm more reading all these Kemetic sciences, you know what I mean? Nation of Islam, Nawapians, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff, yeah, going to the Art Center, all these things, right? And I still have to say, innit, once I picked up the Bible and started reading it, I can't lie, like there's definitely a science in it. Because my thing is, we say that the Bible stole these stories from Egypt. Like, we say that these stories are stripped from the pyramid walls. We know that, innit? We know if you can read the Meta, right? I don't know no one that can, right? So if we can say, right, these stories are taken from the pyramid text, why would you not just read the Bible? You can read English. Why are you going to go through all that grief, right? I mean, I would still, because you know what I mean, like, I would still try and learn Amharic and Hebrew and these things, and even Arabic, because once, like, I can't speak any of them languages, but I've dabbled a little bit in all of them, and you can straight up see like the relation to them languages, even to the Meduneta, the language that they spoke. I don't know what they refer to that as. Can't remember. Anyway, the point is that I would recommend the Bible if you're able to tolerate certain things. You have to really be open-minded in it and not take everything literally. But the Bible does say that basically, God made the heaven, the earth, the firmament. So it's saying that whoever this entity was. But if you get into Hebrew and that, you start getting into the more indigenous version of Christianity. Ethiopic Christianity. You know what I mean? If you start reading all of that, and even when you go to Ethiopia, they told you that, bro, they got a different understanding of it, man. Like, how we read it in English, it's not the way it's meant to be. Like Elohim means God. God's like that's the title. You know what I mean? When they see Elohim created the heaven and the earth, they're talking about that's plural. So there's more than one entity that's involved in that. You know what I mean? And we know it takes two to create. We know it takes two to create. You know what I mean? A man and a woman. And that's the first thing in the Bible. Elohim created the heavens and the earth. So, you know, there's I would recommend it, but like I said in it, it is a powerful book still, and I can see why people lose their minds and they get wrapped up in the whole everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunmay said don't recommend it. You know, I feel like you can't have a solid opinion on something that you have no knowledge about. So I definitely think if you're someone that kind of deny the Bible, so to speak, I feel like you'd have to, you know, study. I feel like you just have to study both sides. Like for me, I'm vegan, both sides of eating meat and veganism, and it made my decision like that. I feel like it's important to know, you know, your enemy, so to speak.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But obviously, not everyone is able to decipher foolishness and what's not foolishness. But if you're like,
I said, no, don't recommend the Bible. No, but listen, dog, it's alright. So when we're saying don't recommend the Bible, what version? We talk about the King James. Because I'll be honest, I can only read English, and Old English at that is a bit difficult, in it. Anything else, you know what I mean? I could recommend the Ethiopic Bible, but can you read it? Would you understand it? I don't know if you could. If you could, 100%, I'd say go for that version. But I feel like the story that's told through the Bible, if we know these are stripped off versions of African mythos and stuff that was going on in the continent, like why would you not read it? There's definitely some historical integrity to it to a degree, you know what I mean? Again, you know what I mean, it's difficult because our history's been taken, innit? It's definitely been taken, but yeah, my guy just wants to come up and I'm not even defending the Bible, dog. I'm not no Christian or nothing in it, but I'm just saying I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, and I definitely would say it can definitely take your mind to a place if you let it. Read Exodus and tell me that ain't what's going on today. You know what I mean? The Bible is a powerful book, bro. It's like prophecy, man. Sometimes reading Exodus, tell me that ain't. It's crazy. Anyway, my 2 cents.
I appreciate you.
Yes, yeah, love up everyone. Bless up, Sunray. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people that have taught me about the Bible and the badness of the Bible have actually read the Bible themselves. I would just see it as another book, in my opinion. But yeah, I used to read parts of the Bible when I was younger. I don't even know a Bible. I can't even tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Hey,
Welcome, Bliss.
how are you doing?
What's good? What's good?
Nothing. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Okay, cool. I think there's a bit of a delay, so take time, and then hopefully it will catch up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start like this, dealing with the Bible. Yes, I've studied the Bible, but not for the purpose of like trying to find my soul within there or trying to use it as a guide. Now, yes, there is gems within the Bible, but that's the cheese on a trap, because if we know it comes back from our African text, why are we going to this version? Because this is a regurgitated version. We are trying to digest basically something that has been regurgitated. It's like someone eating a meal, then throwing up, and then we're saying, well, the original ingredients is within this meal, so we are still going to eat this sick. It's like, no, it's been contaminated now. It's not the same thing. Once it's been translated from English into Spanish, all different languages, there's so many different versions of the Bible. None of them even agree with each other. It's not even original text. the Bible was co-opted and conquered, but not created. We know that. But by the time you let a people translate it and make it out like it's their history and their knowledge and interject their history into it, then how do you know what's African and what's not? You have to have a reference point. So you have to know your African spirituality to say, this is African, this is not African, this is Persian, this is Western, this is... Listen, we ain't got no time to play these games. Go back to the source. Take your time to read the Medunetta. You can have a Medunetta translator. It's not hard. You can get a translation in our ancient text. But a lot of us, I think, feel like we get, well, not say lazy, but we're comfortable speaking this English tongue because we see everything from a Eurocentric point of view because we only know one language. So even when we look at African spirituality, we look at it through a Eurocentric point of view rather than trying to understand it from an African mindset. And this is why it's important to travel to Africa, not so much to look at the history, but to see how the people think and how they feel. And once you learn a language, you will understand, okay, we don't have that concept in our language. For example, I speak a little bit Amharic. So in Tanish, that's Tanish. I speak a little bit Amharic. Now, they will say a word called Isha. So Isha means like, you're welcome. And if someone says, Amisiginalo, that means thank you. Now, I thought Isha just meant you're welcome and that's it. But I realized how it was used. We don't have the translation for that in English because I've seen a person running for a bus when I was in Ethiopia. And the guy stopped for him and jumped onto the bus. And he said, you're welcome to the bus driver. So I was thinking, that makes no sense because he did you a favor. Why are you saying you're welcome? And then I realized in different cultures, basically, if you allow someone to do something good, basically, you're giving them a blessing. So if I gave you £100 and you really needed it, or you were struggling with your shopping, and I said to you, can I help you? If you said yes, that's a good feeling for me too. You allowed me to do a good deal, good deed. So you will say to me, oh, you're welcome. It's like that psychology, we don't have it in our culture. Now we have to understand African psychology. The way that we use the word hotep is we don't use it in the right way. We say hotep to someone today because we're thinking in our English mind, it means peace. That's what we will say. But it doesn't mean peace in the way that we think it means peace. I used to work in the Manchester Museum and I had like these different artifacts, these ancient Egyptian artifacts. And one of them was the hotep bowl, which you put your like water, bread, and food offerings to the gods. And when we use the word hotep, it means offering. Really, it doesn't mean peace. It means peace, like I'm coming in peace, but it means offering. So in Africa, if you will go to someone's house, they will say, "Oh, come in, hotep, peace," or whatnot. If you're part of the ancient Egyptian tribe, or in any tribe, they will say, "You're welcome," and they will give you food and they will give you drink. Now, when we meet people in the street, we say, "Hotep, peace," but where's the food and the drink? There's a cultural understanding about offering. You have to give an offering. Giving offering is giving peace. You're giving a piece of yourself. So we cannot understand who we are through the lens of the Bible because it's been chopped and changed and remixed to the point where we don't even recognize it. And I will finish on this. It's a quick story. There was a teacher that had all the knowledge of the universe, and he used to spend his days in a tent, and he had students that followed him, his way of life, and they used to walk up to him and ask him questions about the mysteries of life and how were the stars put there and how did man become. And they walked to him and opened the tent and said, "Teacher, today we've seen a group of Muslims." So he looked up at them and said, "They're beautiful people and what a beautiful religion." So they looked and like saying to themselves, "I'm confused because we are not Muslims, and if they are beautiful people, why are we not Muslims. So they walked away. And then they came back to him and said, oh, we've seen a group of Christians. So he looked up and said, beautiful people, beautiful religion. So by the second time, they got annoyed. So they was like, you know what? I got a question for him and we're going to catch him out. And they said, teacher, today we've seen a group of Satanists. So he looked up and smiled and he thought for a bit and he said, beautiful people, beautiful religion. So he said, okay, how can you tell me that these are beautiful people and that's a beautiful religion? What are we doing as natural beings, worshipping nature and all this? Like, if that's all beautiful too? Mm-hmm. And then he said, the birds in the sky is beautiful to the birds. But if you was in the sky, you will fall to your death because you are not a bird by nature. The fish and the water is beautiful for the fish. But if you was in the water, you will drown in its beauty.
What's happening? I'm not sure. His connection's gone. I know, guys. Hopefully he'll come back. Let me see. Sunray, where are you? You know, childish. Someone said he drowned. Someone said the Illuminati took him. I'm not sure what happened. It cut out.
It cut out.
Yeah. The people want to hear what you had to say.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's slow.
It's all right. Just go on. All right, I'm gonna start the live again because I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Wait, can you hear me? It keeps pausing. I'm gonna have to start it again. What's happening? Can you guys hear me? Okay, it's not pausing anymore. Is it okay? Can you guys see me? You're talking to your past self. What? Can you guys hear? Okay, let me add Sunray back. His voice is What is happening?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think everything's back to normal, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
I think you got 2G or something.
No, I've got Wi-Fi.
Your phone's running on 2G. Are you connected to a local library?
They said it's your internet. Sorry, Manchester
Nah,
internet.
it's not. Nah, you're connected to some local library. You're getting free Wi-Fi from somewhere.
Yeah. What is happening? Nah, that was strange. That was very strange. But yeah, continue, please.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know where I was now because I was in the spirit of talking. But as I was saying, we have to be careful when we recommend the Bible because you can recommend the Bible and tell someone to read it and they could lose their doggone mind, or you could recommend it to someone and someone can actually do good with it because it's a book that's almost made to be.
No, Sunray's internet is finished. He's frozen, right?
Bliss.
Hello?
Are you still there? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, you paused. So I was making sure that you're still there.
No, I'm still.
But yeah, I think that we have to make more of a concerted effort when we're dealing with our history. We can't make the excuse of like, oh, but I don't speak Meduneta. Like, yes, we have written languages for our text, but not only that, why not just go back to the motherland and speak to the people that have the knowledge and the information? We think that the knowledge and information has been lost. No, there's still tribes that are practicing our ancient traditions and customs, but we are looking for the Hollywood version of Egypt, of ancient Kemet. We're looking for things to levitate. And this is my problem with the new age stuff. I'm going to go in a little bit on this new age ism. I'm calling it a ism because the way that people view stuff, people think that when there's an alignment, that the stars are going to line up and they're going to see these heavenly colors and people are going to be levitating and they're going to get these special powers and they're going to be able to do telekinesis and all that kind of stuff. People go crazy with this, but spirituality is not about that. We're looking for a romanticized spirituality. Spirituality is very silent, it's very quiet, it's very subtle. It goes undetected, and we're looking for this dramatic shift, like the whole planet's going to shake and the heavens are going to light up. It doesn't happen like that. When you said that we are in an age of Aquarius, yes, we are, but because everyone's looking for that dramatic shift, no, it blends into it. Like, for example, every firm thing in nature gradually grows into something. It grows into perfection. You don't see a tree not there one day, then you turn around and the next day there's a big massive tree. No, if it's something with substance, something that's firm, it's going to take time for it to grow and to be steady and sturdy. That's the same way with spirituality. Now, this is the problem with the new ageism. Yes, we are getting knowledge, but we are taking it as information, and that is bad. And the reason why I'm saying that is bad, because when you're dealing with information, it's keeping you informed, and really you should be looking for outformation. We're trying to escape from this sphere. We're trying to escape from this planet. So we say we are intellectual, but we should be outellectual. Intellect is dealing with the things on this plane, on this earth. Outellect is dealing with the mysteries of the universe, and we get ourselves trapped with the person, place, and things, and we get into this internet internet knowledge. And so when you're dealing with this new age spirituality, see it as like, just imagine we had a teacher, a religious teacher in a class, and then he's teaching this knowledge and information about the Bible, etc. And then the students get bored and they run him out the classroom, and he goes and says, I can't take this no more. That's the old age going. He's gone. What happens then? One kid or two kid gets up and says, I'm going to teach the class. And they get up and they put on the teacher's coat and pretend to be the teacher and pretend to teach and do whatever and blah, blah. And everyone starts laughing and say, yeah, you're a good teacher. And they start getting gassed up. And then it becomes a reoccurring theme. The next lesson, everyone says, do you know what? I might be the next person that's going to be the teacher. And even though they're not being through the schools of thought or the degrees to become a teacher, they feel like they are this teacher. Now, this is what I see overnight, because everyone's getting these downloads, but they're not taking the time to comprehend the downloads. You should sit with it and say, oh, I had a download. Let me go and do a video. Oh, I had a download. Let me go and teach this information, without even digesting it. Everyone is a yoga teacher overnight. If you really know how yoga works, it takes a yogi master. If you know how anything works in terms of like Reiki, in terms of being a high priestess or high priest, it takes years. In ancient Kemet, it took 40 years for you to learn the craft. You were staying in a university, where we get university from ancient Egypt, but we dealt with the universe. When you say university, we dealt with the universe. We learned about the universe, and it took you 40 years that you stayed in the temple. It was a Ramses II temple. What temple was it now? I've been there a few years ago. I can't remember, but I can send you the temple. But just imagine it took them 40 years for them to be initiated to be somebody of a high priest or high priestess. Now we get this little conscious information that we learn off YouTube, like, oh, deep, yeah, woke, 2020 and 2012, and we digest it. We take about maybe a week, then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm a master healer, so if anyone wants to come over here and I can teach and I will charge you something for it. Life doesn't work like that. Yes, you can be gifted, but at the same time, your gift needs to be guided, and that's what we had, and that's what we have in Africa. We have guides. As I'm speaking to the South African sister that she does the whole tribal initiation. She lives in South Africa, and she's always going underground. She goes under caves, underwater, should I say, and then she doesn't come out for like maybe 4 months sometimes. I'm like, what? You're staying underground for 4 months? He said, yes, I have to do it. The ancestors said I must do it. She was calling me the other day and said that she has to find these bones because her father, no, her grandfather basically left some bones behind, and her brother is sick, and she needs to find the bones so she can bury the bones. It's some craziness, but she gets sent out on real missions like that. Initiation in terms of when you are 13 as a boy in certain tribes, I forgot what the tribe is in Nigeria, they will wake you up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. 13 years old, you don't even know what's going on. They'll wake you up and say, you're going to the rainforest. The little boy will probably say, what are you talking about? Here's a torch. I will meet you there. I'll meet you on the other side in the morning. And then the little boy has to go, walk there. That's his initiation into manhood. Now, we think initiation in this society is maybe smoking cigarettes, having sex for the first time, and all that bullcrap. And it's the same thing with the spiritual community. We have one little deep dream or one deep experience, and we think, oh, we're being initiated. I've got this download, but did you sit with the download? Did you take the time to really perfect your craft? So this is my problem with the new age stuff. We want things to happen like that. We want to see it now. We get greedy, like, give me this information. Give me the stars. I want to see the stars. Do a loop and all this craziness. So my message is take time, be patient. Sabali, that's what they say in Kiswahili. Sabali, have patience. Things will come, and also don't knock the physical realm. I think we do too much knocking at the physical realm. If you knock the physical realm, you're knocking an aspect of you, because a lot of people that were totally physical have become highly spiritual. And this is why people join crazy doctrines. They will go from a physical being to the extreme spiritual, and then they neglect the body, and then in turn they become, sorry, I'm not being disrespectful, they become maybe overweight or skinny and develop diseases because they say stuff like, oh, the body is nothing but the flesh and it's going to go back to the earth. We're spiritual beings. Don't knock the physical. This melanin is beautiful. If you study anatomy and physiology, you will understand the body is amazing. It's about the unification of the mind, body, and soul. So that's a problem. We don't have balance. We will drop the physical and go to the spiritual. And then once we overexert the spiritual, we get tired. And then we go back to the physical, even worse, because we neglected it. We forgot how to use it. So it's almost like a pendulum. When it swings one way, it will swing the other way, extremely. And life is not about being extreme. It's about being prudent. It's about being careful. And this is why, you see people basically, oh, I'm pro-black. A black woman is God. Blah, 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 blah. They're going so hard, so extreme. Then like 4 years later, you see them with a white woman. You think, wait a minute, you're that guy that was like chanting, like, it makes no sense. Or you can see people going hard at Christianity. And like, yeah, you need to follow the Bible. The next minute, they're in a club, like selling themselves. It's like, what happened to you? Because you was too extreme. It's about finding the balance. Nature isn't extreme. There's no such thing as extreme nature. Nature is just nature. There's no such thing as wild animals. They're just animals. They have a system. It's not wild. It might be wild to you if you're not in tune, but they have a system. So that's my message when we're dealing with that. What's the other brother called that was on before me?
Gus.
Yeah, Goss, yeah. I wasn't coming at him, but I'm just, anything to do with religion, it's old, we need to push it aside now. We have no excuse. We have the internet, we have the planes to travel and go back to the motherland. Like, we're free to a certain degree. Use that and then basically get our information back. Go to the source that cares rather than the second hand or the third hand or the fourth hand or the 100th hand information. So I'm going to leave on that, and peace, love, and hair grease.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you. Bye, Samray.
Bye-bye.
That was great. That was great. Yeah, definitely. I think we need to find a balance. I think we all need to find the balance. So I appreciate that input. Does anyone else want to join before I'm gonna lock off the live soon? Because I've yawned about 5 times. Your girl is tired. What did he say? Love, peace, and hair grease. But yeah, no, I knew he wasn't coming for you anyways. So it's all good. If anyone wants to come on, just comment or request me, and then I'll do like another 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap this thing up. I'm gonna read the comments. I wasn't reading them before, sorry. The man meditating to the point their skeleton is one with the mountain they died on. Listen, do you know what's funny? Yeah, the thing that he said about the sister going underneath the earth. When I was in India, they were speaking about like this collective of people that actually live in these mounds, live in the earth, and won't breathe for like an extended period of time. They'll just stay under the earth. Crazy, but that's a whole nother topic, but I just thought of that. Yeah, it's 11:30 here, so I need to change my life. Damn. I'm just gonna draw you out. You said you were coming on, Ace. But yeah, you lot were laughing at the little boy getting pulled out of his bed at 3 a.m. to go and mine a rock somewhere, someplace far. Ace, you said you were coming on Thursday. We were all there. We all witnessed it. Your word is your bound, right? Is that the saying? Your word is your bond. Sorry. Exactly. He definitely said that. So you're supposed to keep your word as a man. Don't show yourself up now. I'm requesting him. Why? Like when I request you lot, do you like wait for it to go? Because it says connected.
Yo.
Hi. Was you thinking about? You was contemplating about it. Yeah, to be honest. But you had to come on because you said you're gonna come on Thursday.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, the people were pioneering for you to come on. So, do you have anything to add to the conversation? Well, what do you want to add? Because I know you have something to add. You can continue off from what Sunray was saying if you wanted to.
No, I'm good. I'm just spectating more so today.
No, but you're supposed to have input. You have input. You always be having input in the comments. Don't let the people down now. All right, cool. So let me go. What is the language that you said you wanted to learn? No, so yeah, what was you talking about? The people meditating. Who are these people?
Oh, there's like monks that they literally like meditate all the time, so they don't neglect the physical, whereby there's just no balance at all. So obviously they're overly spiritual. They'll literally just go to mountains and just all they would do is meditate.
Hold on, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. I didn't get to read them before. Yeah, I mean, like because when I went to India and I spoke to them, same thing. And I think there is a imbalance there. But is there? If the balance is different for everyone, right? So
yeah, I guess it depends what you want out of life, to be honest.
Yeah, what if that is their balance? I don't know about being like, because that's the thing, right? When you're in the Western world, it's hard to find the balance because there's like, yes, there is a spiritual aspect, but we're also in a very like physical dominant world. So it's like, especially living in and operating under a capitalist society, it's so easy to get sucked into the physical, the fast pace, the instant gratification. So yeah, because for me, that's what I struggle with. I'm very material, not only being an earth sign, being a Capricorn, but just being born in this particular age. I definitely find it hard to balance out. But I feel like a lot of people, what happens is that we go to the extreme and then we come down and then we balance it out. Because like I am in my vegan journey, so to speak, now versus like 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, completely different energy. I'm trying to hit. Yeah. So do you have any opinions on the new age of Aquarius? What's your understanding of that?
It's more so what everyone's already said, to be honest. How everything was going digital. I remember I was speaking to a colleague about this when I was like, "Do you think we're gonna be paying with cards soon?" Because I just see there was a sequence of shops that would just demand card only, and now we're in the age where it's prevalent. So yeah,
What do you mean? Sorry, what did you say about paying card?
yeah, everything's digital. There's no cash transactions anymore. It's just card only.
Yeah.
So this is the age we have to operate, and people. I mean, if you don't operate that way, you're gonna be left behind, and I don't know how you're really gonna thrive in this kind of society, to be honest.
100%. I mean, I feel like
Like,
that's the
especially elderly people.
elderly people, people impoverished, you know, people that don't have good credit, people that, you know, people that are not able to apply for a bank card, and that's like a variety of people. They're just gonna, that's the thing, like so many things in my brain, how I see everything like going the direction that it's going in, mainly focusing on the physical. It's not looking good. Like it's good. And just it's not about race so much anymore. It's literally about class more so than anything. History, like the white people, they're willing to sacrifice their own people, so they're not really business about, you know, the lower class or white people's that are able to, you know, catch up and keep up with the new world. Because as much as I feel like for us to tap in spiritually, I feel like we need to, like, you either get with the times, you get left behind, and you don't want to get left behind this, you know, this day and age, and this space when we have so much access. I feel like it's our human rights and our given rights to really utilize what we are experiencing. Obviously there's good and bad sides, but I know what side I want to be on, you know, when more shifts keep happening, because this year it's been like the shift of the digitalization of everything. I want to be on that side of it. There's people that, you know, especially the older generation, that are not going to be able to switch over to digital, so to speak. I've always more at some point it's not gonna be, and we're kind of like robots are already replacing jobs. You see it in my, like, very like social distancing already been going on. Do you know what I mean? We've already been like kind of separated from each other, which I think in a sense is a good thing, because I don't feel like we're supposed to be up and touching up everyone anyways, like just on an energetic level, not even on a hygiene level, right? Because we good and bad energy. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective. I'm just
Yeah, I still got my grand still using a brick phone and that, so
You got a brick phone?
no, my grand.
Oh, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so like,
Granny can have a brick phone. My granny has an app now on Facebook. But she doesn't live in this country. But just like businesses that, for example, like old fish and chip shops, right? They don't really know about delivery, Uber Eats. They don't know about all the services where they can, you know, have other sources of income. They're just relying on the people them to come to the shop and buy the chips. And more time, sorry, like there's a chip shop near my house, right? It's a Spurs ground, near the Spurs ground. And it's like people only really go there when there's football. And now people can't go to football. People can watch football from the comfort of their home pretty much. So it's like how do they stay afloat? Do you know what I mean? So you have to keep up with the times. You have to. You're gonna get left behind. But I definitely feel like we're in the age of Aquarius, entering the age, however people wanna word it. All I know is that we're here now, and what's to come. Only those you can only feel like you're being left behind if you're not keeping up. You know, I don't being left behind or left out, or I'm very aware of what's happening and make it a point to stay paying attention to the news and what's going on in the world, because you need to know. And because there's a lot of information, you have to kind of be able to like decipher the important information and the non-superficial.
I'll be honest, I don't even watch the news too much, to be honest.
No, I don't watch the news. I'll just be reading articles on the internet. I'm sure Britain has an aging population anyway and want to decrease the numbers of the elderly. Amazon taking over with everything delivery. Listen, Amazon is basically going to be its own country at this point. What's the age of Aquarius? Basically, the age of information, basically, in long story short. You missed the whole life.
This digital age gives opportunities to creatives, though. You have the platform to create whatever you want nowadays. Even so, I'm someone who works in IT as well. And what's happening is everything's gone to a cloud infrastructure, which means that you don't have to own the equipment yourself. You can just basically pay for access to it. So all these platforms are basically built for everyone to create whatever they want nowadays. And if you are a person who's able to or has something they want to create, here's the opportunity this day and age.
Yeah, 100%. Especially like creatives, like artists, musicians, because it's not as easy to like step into monetization as, let's say, like your corporate people then, right? Because now people can monetize their art in many different ways, many different ways. Whereas before, you might try sell painting at one show, or you might try, be seen at a gig, or do you know what I'm saying? It was definitely a lot harder, but yeah, man, I think people should utilize the accessibility to your advantage, because it's not going anywhere. It's not going to stop. Like, so I'd rather be educated than uneducated, and I'd rather be in than out. That's kind of my stance on it. I need to go to the toilet. But yeah, well, thank you for joining. Like I said, this ain't gonna be a long live today. I'm about to end it when this conversation is over. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm just reading some of the comments.
Are you planning anything on the 21st? Anything intentional?
Nope.
Fair enough. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
To be honest, I was only aware of it this live, to be honest. So.
Yeah, no, I only found out about it through Instagram. Maybe like last week or something. But I looked into it a little bit more today. I wanted Salome to come on. Let me see if she's here. Hold on, because I did want her to come on and explain it, but we'll see. I sent a live to her. Hopefully she comes on. But yeah, well, thank you for joining finally. I appreciate you, and yeah, I'll chat to you later.
Bless.
Bye.
One.
Yeah, thank you, Ace. Right, so I sent a live to Salome. She has 1 minute to jump in. If she doesn't jump in, then I'm ending the live because I need to go. Which I don't think she's going to. Let me see. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a great conversation. Today was one of them days where I didn't really want to talk. I just wanted you guys to just talk, and I just listened, and that is exactly what happened. No, Spectrum of Salome. No, I don't see her. Unfortunately, Salome wasn't able to join. She's gonna see this live and see that I mentioned her name like 5 times. But yeah, man. Book club is this Sunday. I don't know what book. I don't know what book I'm gonna choose yet. I'll put it up on my stories so you guys can help me choose. Book club at 9 p.m. on Sunday. So I'll see you guys all there. Thank you guys for joining today. It was a great conversation. The live will be saved as usual on IGTV. I may even put this up on YouTube as well. So hi, you guys are gonna be famous. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you all, and I will be